Am I the asshole for telling my fiancé if I see her friend again I'm calling the cops? Edit. Update. I want to thank you all for the kind words and comments. I knew after reading the comments that it was time to come to a resolution. I decided to drive home from work and talk with Erica. When I showed up, Leah's car was parked in the drive. I went inside and they were watching TV. I told Leah immediately to get out. She tried to argue, but I told her if she didn't then I'm calling the police. Erica tried to get pissy that I kicked her friend out, but I said I'm done talking about Leah because at this point nothing is changing with that relationship. Sat Erica down and showed her this post. 20 minutes of reading later I asked her what she thought. She said, "Those people don't understand our relationship or Leah." I knew then that it was over. I asked her to hold out her hand and I took the ring off. She begged, saying she is sorry and she'll cut Leah off, etc. I told her I can't even trust her with the garage code. How am I supposed to trust her as my wife? She's locked herself in our room now. I'm in the kitchen packing up her things. I called her dad, mom, telling them about what has happened and they were furious. Leah is apparently banned from their house and has been since HS. I didn't know this, but her parents said it's been like this since HS. They are coming this weekend to get Erica and the stuff. I couldn't be any happier than I am right now. A huge weight feels lifted off my shoulders. I felt like if I never made this post I wouldn't have ever seen how messed up my life had become. Sincerely, thank you everyone. Can't wait to take my clubs out and play around now that I have more free time. Really excited to see what single life brings and can't thank you all enough again. Me, 29M, and Erica, 27F, dated for 2 years and have been engaged the last 4 months. After we got engaged, Erica moved into my house. I still pay the mortgage while she pays for utilities, groceries and household items. After we get married, the plan is to put her on the house so she gets equity as well. Her friend Leah, 27F, and her have been best friends since high school. I don't particularly like Leah but have also been cordial as I know she's gonna be in my life. My issue is Leah thinks of my home as hers. Couple examples. She always brings her boyfriend over and he's a sketchball. She talks to me in a very disrespectful way in my own house, like I'm a guest and she, Erica, own it. One day I went out to my garage and some of my tools were missing. I checked my camera and Leah, boyfriend, were in my garage with Erica and took some tools with them. I asked Erica and she said they were just borrowing and would return them. I had to reach out multiple times for them to finally return the tools weeks later. I have a nice wine, liquor collection and I was working late one Friday. While working I heard some clanking of bottles together. Erica wasn't home so I went out to see what was up. Leah was behind my bar. I asked what she was doing and she said that Erica told her it was okay to borrow a bottle of wine for her party and that she would pay it back. I told her no, that wasn't all right and to leave. I asked Erica about this and she said, I don't remember telling Leah she could take a bottle but I might have, I don't remember. I told her at this point I wasn't comfortable with Leah being in my house. Erica sorta understood but also blew me off. Final straw came when I wanted to go hit some golf balls and my clubs were missing. I freaked out because I golf regularly and my clubs are my biggest investment. Went to check the camera again and Leah used my garage code and took the clubs. I blew up, called Erica and told her to get them back immediately. Erica said Leah had asked for the garage code to grab some clothes from her closet and not my clubs. I threatened to call the police but Erica stopped me. Leah kept telling us that her boyfriend needed them for a work thing. I got them back almost 4 days after they were taken and they were dirty. At this point I sat Erica down and told her that if I see Leah in my house again then I'm calling the cops, no discussion. Erica got upset saying that it's her best friend and that wasn't fair to do to her in our house. I said it's a pattern and since Erica's stuff isn't affected she doesn't care. I said she can go over to Leah's if she wants to see her. She said she can't do this because Leah doesn't like her apartment and Leah's boyfriend is always there, which makes Erica uncomfortable. I'm now getting the silent treatment and getting called an asshole, but I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Am I the asshole? Do not put this woman on the deed to your home. Heck, don't marry her. You don't have a Leah problem, you have a fiancé problem. Time to move on, buddy. Not the asshole. Also, I would keep copies of the security footage, just in case, and change the garage code. Not the asshole, but are you sure you want to marry this woman? She's either an idiot for letting her friend rob you both or the two of them are in on something. You are not the asshole, but you are focusing on the wrong issue. You have a significant other problem. Leah would never have had the chance of disrespecting you. Not more that once at least. If your fiancé had done her job and put her in her place. Your fiancé has no respect for you and your property. Your girlfriend is the asshole for putting a literal thief over you. You have every right to call the police, and I'm actually shook that she's not on your side on this. Not the asshole. She literally stole from you. End of story. Careful. Once she's on the deed, she's going to pull the "well, it's my house now too" shit. You know it. Not the asshole. You're being disrespected by all the people involved, including your own partner. How bad will it get when she's in on the papers? I'd be letting that wait a while till this situation sorts itself out. Your partner has a responsibility to put across healthy boundaries, and it seems you're having the piss ripped right out you. Am I the asshole for not wanting a friend at my dinner get-together because they only eat well-done beef? I know what you're all thinking. Another well-done steak ate the asshole, but this one is different. 35M here. My friend Brandon, 34M, was surfing YouTube and found a video for Gordon Ramsay's Beef Wellington, and got intrigued. For reference, beef Wellington is a whole beef tenderloin wrapped in a puff pastry and baked in the oven, then sliced to serve multiple people. It's a pretty old-school dish, but Gordon Ramsay made a viral video about it and it got popular again. It's also expensive, $100 plus, and pretty technical to make, so it's mostly popular as a video to drool over rather than something people make regularly. Brandon knows I'm a hobby home cook, and so he asked me about beef Wellington. I said I was familiar with the dish because of YouTube, but I never attempted to make it before because it's pretty expensive. Brandon said he was eager to try beef Wellington, and he proposed a deal with me. He said he would pay for the ingredients if I'm willing to make it. I took him up on the offer on the caveat that there's a possibility it might not be perfect. We came up with a plan as follows. I would get the groceries the morning of and use the afternoon to make a beef Wellington for 8 people at my home. Brandon and I would agree on 6 guests to join us for dinner. Invites were sent out well in advance. However, a few days before the dinner, one of the guests had to cancel. My solution to this was that I would just cut the pieces a little thicker and we would just have a 7-person dinner. Brandon even agreed to this. However, the word got out in our friend group that there was an open seat. 2 of our guests, Kate and David, 35 married couple, suggested they bring along our mutual friend Ava, 34F. I said no to the suggestion. We've known Ava for years. She's a great person and I have nothing against her. The thing is for this situation is that she doesn't eat beef with any pink. If it was burgers or steaks, I could just cook hers the way she likes it, but since a beef Wellington is a roast, the whole thing is cooked the same. They asked why I couldn't just make the whole thing well done. I said I myself wouldn't be willing to eat well done tenderloin and would rather just not cook than make that. I also said if I'm catering to anyone, it's Brandon because this meal is on his dime. They then asked why I couldn't just make Ava's portion well done. I tried to explain that it would be difficult to do that. I'd have to cut her piece, then take it back to the kitchen to cook it more after dinner had already started. This thing was going to take me hours to make. After I cut it, I'm sitting down and I'm eating. Kate and David are now accusing me of being unaccommodating and excluding Ava, and saying I'm an asshole. What do you all think? Tell Kate and David to make it if it's so simple. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, they're being inconsiderate to your time and effort. If they think it's so easy to accommodate Ava, they should do it at their house and see what it's like lol. As a hobby baker, cook, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Not the asshole. Uninvite Kate and David from your life. If they were 23, I'd say cut them some slack, but a 35-year-old demanding the host of an event change the dinner for someone the host didn't invite? The chances they grow up are slim. The fact that you even brought up so many technical reasons for why it's impossible. The fact that you responded to their ridiculous arguments. I'm worried you're a serious pushover. Not the asshole. And #X200B. They asked why I couldn't just make the whole thing well done. Ha 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 ha. Oh my god. Not the asshole. This is a meal that cannot be easily modified for individual people. It's like a Thanksgiving turkey or a Christmas ham. Everyone gets the same thing. Brandon is paying and you're doing the work, so nobody gets to overrule you in how it's made. It's in very poor taste for your friends to invite another person along and expect you to cater to them over everyone else. Not the asshole. Well done beef Wellington? Chef Ramsay would be so disappointed. After I cut it, I'm sitting down and I'm eating. I am the same way. I want to eat when the food is hot and ready. Not serve everyone first and continue cooking while my dinner gets cold. This is what the kitchen is preparing and the chef eats too. It's not a restaurant where food is made to order and the chef is not eating. The person paying for it, Brandon, gets to have his tastes accommodated. If you forecast problems with a particular guest, Ava, you avoid those problems and don't invite her. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Give them the recipe and they can make for Ava. Lots of people won't eat well-done beef. Am I the asshole for refusing to fire my personal trainer per his wife's request? Throwaway because I don't want this on my main. I, 43F, hired my trainer Alex, fake name, in mid-2018 through the gym. I asked for someone who understands chronic pain because I've had it for 20 years and need help managing it. Swimming did wonders until my body began to develop negative reactions to pool chemicals, which was why I switched to the gym. Long story short, Alex helped beyond expectation. He helped me improve so much. A few months ago my doctor actually switched me to milder pain medication, and lowered the doses too. So as a token of appreciation I gave Alex an early Christmas card last week with a $50 gift card. The message was a simple, "Thank you for your help. Best wishes." Today I went for solo training and a woman approached me claiming to be Alex's wife. She accused me of getting friendly with Alex and demanded that I ask the gym to switch trainers. I refused and she got aggressive, so I got the staff involved and they removed her. Later I told friends about the incident. They say I was disrespectful and should have honored her wishes. Though I don't think Alex's wife's insecurity is my problem. I feel bad about possibly getting him into trouble at home. Am I the asshole? ETA. Many of you mentioned the possibility of a stalker imposter and now I'm getting chills. Never even thought of that. I'll give the gym a call first because if it's a stalker imposter then she might harass other people too. Since I don't have Alex's private number I'll ask the gym to give him a heads up. Then I'll talk to him when I see him next week. Not the asshole. You were in a place of business. You are using professional services and have done nothing inappropriate. Her issues are between her husband and herself, at home. Not the asshole. So first up I'd suggest there is a small but non-zero chance that was not his wife, which would make things even weirder. If it's his wife then it sounds like their marriage is having issues. You are not the asshole, though it would definitely be worth discussing with Alex and letting him make the call. Edit to add, small but not the asshole. And frankly, I'd tell your trainer about this weird woman going up to you and trying to get him fired. Are you sure that's his wife and not some creepy stalker trying to poop on his life? In any case, whatever is going on between him and his wife is something that should remain under their roof and not sucking in other people, so you're not to blame. Your friends are super incorrect. Not the asshole. If he doesn't want you as a client, he can inform you to choose someone else. You don't even know if that was actually his wife. Not the asshole. It sounds to me like you found yourself an amazing personal trainer who went above and beyond what he ever needed to do. You're happier in your life and you're medically improving. That's great. It also sounds to me like you have a pretty professional relationship with Alex, unless I'm missing something. You were grateful for his help, so you got him a Christmas present. I'm not sure where the getting friendly is here. I've gotten coworkers Christmas presents before. If you feel like it could be a problem with Alex, maybe talk to him about it. I don't think you need to switch trainers, but if this is causing him problems at home, he may need to do something about keeping you as a client. Just talk it through. Communication is key. Best of luck, Op. And happy holidays. Not the asshole. Sounds like Alex has plenty of trouble at home, none of it because of you. If this wife wants to decide who her husband takes on as clients, she discusses that with him and only him. Not the asshole is this person who she says she is, or just a crazy person trying to ruin his business. This is crazy actually. How did she even know what you look like to approach you? Not the asshole, and I hope Alex is able to figure things out in that department. Am I the asshole I didn't go to see my ex at the hospital? I and my ex divorced 5 months ago because she came out as lesbian. I didn't want the baby when she came out to me because I felt it would be awkward for us to co-parent and I didn't want any contact with her. However, she wanted to keep the baby, so I accepted her decision and didn't talk about it anymore. A few weeks ago, the baby was premature by nearly 2 months and turned out to be stillborn. I was in a business meeting, so I texted her saying I was sorry for her loss and had flowers sent to her. Her girlfriend and family have been calling and texting me since, them saying that I'm a heartless jerk for not going to meet her at the hospital after such a traumatic experience. My ex called me and said that I must be really happy that I got what I originally wanted. To be honest, although I feel sorry for her loss, I am relieved that we don't have to stay in contact with each other anymore and I can move on from her. Am I the asshole? Edit. I had originally wanted the child, but when I found out that she cheated on me, I didn't look forward to co-parenting with her. I felt it would be better for the baby to be aborted rather than to suffer from our bad relationship. That doesn't mean I would have hated the baby upon its birth. I'd have loved it regardless. Just that it would be difficult to co-parent with a person who's bad at communication. In short, I didn't not want the baby. I just didn't want a baby with a person who might not be a good co-parent. I do love babies. I always wanted a baby with the person I love. To all those saying that I'm relieved about a baby's death, I'm not relieved that the baby died. I'm relieved that I no longer will be forced to be cordial with my ex. Not the asshole. You sent flowers and everything, and people haven't accepted that you're no longer married. They need to get OT through their heads that you're no longer married, even though she hasn't got a new man. Hetero norms can be stifling sometimes. Edit. Thanks for silver. Edit 2. Okay, wow. So many awards, thanks all. Really appreciate it. Not the asshole. There isn't anything wrong with not visiting someone who you had already planned on not having in your life anyways. You acknowledge the loss. Sent flowers. Sounds like what any decent person would do for someone who is an ex and isn't even in your life, technically. Anything beyond that sounds like they just wished and had expectations of their own. Not your fault she wanted more from you. A now ex. They'll get over it. Not the asshole. And people saying you are nitwits. 1. Your ex cheated on you. 2. It's your freaking ex. 3. You didn't want to keep the kid. She did her responsibility, assuming y'all had some sort of a rights waiver agreement. If not, you will still be responsible only if the fetus came out alive. 4. You did care, sent flowers and whatnot. You not wanting to interact is your choice. Why should you be bothered to go and console a cheating ex? Not the asshole. You sent fucking flowers, you obviously cared. They overreacted. Not the asshole, she cheated on you and you wanted distance. She wanted to keep the baby so you accepted it. They all should accept that you're no longer in her life. Do they even know she cheated on you? Not the asshole, you were not expected to be there at the birth. Why would you have been expected to be there at death? It sounds more like you were just a sperm donor in the pregnancy. I can see in your comments saying essentially you didn't want the baby but you would have done your best by the child, which means that you resonate that you were going to be a dad. Your ex has their family and girlfriend to help support her, so it's wrong of them to demand you to comfort her. Your feelings re her cheating etc. are still valid. But regardless of her, have you had time to process and grieve the loss yourself? Have you had any support in this? I just hope that you don't regret not holding the baby before they were cremated because you were too angry that they cheated. I'd also maybe suggest getting some counseling. You've had a lot of trauma in a very small amount of time. Not the asshole. Your ex and anyone harassing you is the asshole.